Grand evening, East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. Welcome to the MWR Financial Make Wealth Real University. I am Darrell R. Banks, two-star executive director and founding member of MWR Financial, and your host of this weekly corporate event where you get to hear from the experts and invited professionals to give you the education you need to succeed to get on the other side of money. Please take these last few moments to get your members on the platform and your team so they can see and hear the true value of such an exclusive invitation-only wealth membership where lifestyle and legacy connect. Guys, listen, we are excited to be excited of the information that you're going to hear tonight. So be sure to grab yourself a pen and a pad to take copious notes of what you're going to hear. Also, have you not registered for the November 4th MWR Go Beyond virtual conference? You need to get registered. Less than 2 days away. We're going to be rocking and rolling virtual live, guys, at makewealthrealevents.com. Makewealthrealevents.com. It's going to be phenomenal. You have to be there to see and hear from our entire team of experts and all of the faces that you know of MWR Financial. So please take these last few moments to get your members in on this educational event tonight because, hey, listen, it's all about the education first. Then we show them how to create and make wealth real. It's unbelievable, guys. Listen, we got Mr. Dale Panera out there, Durham, North Carolina. Welcome to the platform, sir. Goldsboro, North Carolina, Ms. Cassandra Rutan. Welcome to the platform, always there. Columbia, South Carolina, Mr. Marvin McGee. Welcome, sir. Peace and love. Hey, man, Mr. Ronald Samuel. Good to see you this morning as well. Take care. Tallahassee, welcome. Saab, hey, how you doing out there? Fayetteville, North Carolina, Mr. Dave, welcome, sir. Douglas, Georgia, welcome to the platform. Dallasburg, Tennessee, welcome to the platform. Hinesville, Georgia, Mr. Brian Woods, welcome, sir. Guys, listen, people are chiming in from all over the country to hear this information, and we know that we have to do something to be able to increase the longevity of our wealth, and having an account that has uninterrupted compound interest is something you need to hear about. This thing has taken me personally from 33 years of being a slave to debt to now 2 years and 8 months. Guys, listen, you need to hear about this. Grab a pen and a pad. So listen, let's go ahead on and introduce our speaker for tonight. This gentleman, we have heard from him before, but he always brings a new knowledge and wealth of information when he talks about this specific account. This gentleman is part of our Increase Our Cash Flow division. He brings much knowledge and success to the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ike Muonelo, our cash flow expert. Welcome to the platform, sir.
How you doing, Darrell? Appreciate you. Always a pleasure to be here with MWR. I want to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I think it's been less than a year now where me and my partner Edward partner with MWR, and it's been a while. It's been a wild ride. One of the things that I enjoy about MWR is the people that join MWR are coming seeking not just wealth but knowledge, and we know knowledge brings wealth if you use it in the right direction. And so when we got started, you know, it's we just a little bit of background on us. We have over at this point 700 agents in our agency. We've helped over 250,000 clients. Me and my partner Edward, we've been in business for over 20 years. So don't let this baby face fool you. That we've been in business for a long time. And so what we're going to talk about today, I want to get right into the presentation. What we're going to talk about today is the 401k. Now, for those of you who are very sensitive to this topic, very sensitive to the 401k. Let's go ahead and bring the slides up. I want to give it a caveat real quick, because those of you who have a 401k and you're getting a match and you're only putting up to what they match, you're off the hook today. All right, you're off the hook. If you're only putting up to what they match, you're getting that free money, you're off the hook. Even though I would still think about that, you are still off the hook. However, a 401k is pretty much the same thing as a 403b if you're a teacher, a TSP if you're a government employee, and it's kind of similar to an IRA. What I'm talking about today is tax deferred vehicles. Okay. Now see, me and taxes, we have a long relationship. I still remember my first job. And I remember I had worked hard. I'd put in hours, and I put in at least 25 hours, felt like 70. And I remember getting home, and I get my first check. And I remember taking a look at that check, and I was adding up the hours I'm supposed to get paid, the hours I worked, and something just didn't add up. So I remember I went to my boss and I said, "Hey, something's wrong. Y'all left some money out of my check." And he said, "Oh, no, that's Uncle Sam." And I still remember this. I sat there for a little bit thinking, my dad never told us about an Uncle Sam. And I was serious too. But that was my first relationship with introduction to taxes. And since then, I've learned that taxes, although they can be used for roads, bridges, things like that, taxes can also be used in the government's hands as sort of like a weapon. And I'm gonna show you why. So let's talk about what I was gonna call this. Because I was gonna call this presentation 401k, the government's hoopty, you know. And I'm a little too professional. I ain't gonna do that. Some of y'all know my background, so that's not too far fetched from me. But I decided, let me introduce myself to you a little bit, warm up to you, because some of you are sitting at home right now wondering, what is a hoopty? You're like, well, you tapping somebody, you texting, you Googling right now, hoopty. Well, don't worry about it. I got the definition for you. Hoopty can be any car that is usually older, beat up, but still being driven. It might describe a car that has high mileage, faded, damaged, broken doors, loud mufflers, and who knows what else. The car would barely be roadworthy. And so I started thinking about the 401k, and I was like, beat up, broken, it's barely roadworthy. And I said, you know what? That's the 401k. Now some of y'all are like, well, why you say that? Well, let's talk about the history of the 401k, because the 401k was never intended to be the main retirement. See, 401ks were only a supplement to pensions. And the idea was to give employers a different option to supplement pensions. Instead, the 401k took over, and we went from defined benefit to defined contribution. So as I go through this, I want you to start thinking about this question. Just think about it. And most of you already know the answer, because see, the 401k would be actually a good program, and it used to be. Let me not beat up too much, because think about this: if you had the 401k, you got a tax deduction. You got your taxes deferred as your money grows, and then you're able to take out money at a lower end. It's a win-win. But is that the case? Absolutely not. That's not the case. So speaking of taxes, let's talk a little bit about taxes. Would you rather get paid on the seed or the harvest? Think about that for a second. See, some of you are like, hold on. I thought, I'm not a farmer. When you talk about seed and harvest. So you know what? I went ahead and spelled it out for you. Let's say you bought a bundle of seeds for $50,000 and you were just taxed on those seeds. $15,000, 30% tax, $15,000. Everything else from that point on is all profit. That seed grows to $500,000. You pay $15,000 taxes, and you're good to go. Now, what's the harvest? The harvest is this: starting out with your money, not getting taxed on it, deferring the taxes, letting that harvest get bigger and bigger and bigger until it gets to $500,000. Now, 30% of that $500,000, that's $150,000 that you were taxed only because you were taxed on the harvest, not the seed. So I want you to ponder this question. Is your money today worth more now or than it will be in the future? See, some of you don't remember when dollar bills, used to be able to take $1 and go fill at least get a tank of gas, sometimes a tank and a half. I still remember when gas was 84 cents a gallon. I remember that. I remember when I used to be able to take $1 bill. I used to be able to go to the gas station and buy a whole bundle of candy. So as we think about that, we know that our dollar today is as strong as it's going to be right now. and our money in the future is not going to be worth as much. So why would we want to defer money to the future? Just something to think about. So when I started thinking about this, I was looking at the 401k and I was saying, well, there's no point of really doing a presentation because not that many people have money in the 401k. And then I started taking a look at the number, $6.3 trillion. $6.3 trillion. This was as of last year in the 401k. And the government is coming out with new incentives, new reasons, more reasons to put money in the 401k. So I started thinking, why does the government want us to put money in the 401k? I couldn't figure it out. I said, 6.3 trillion. The government wants us to put money in there. Why would the government want us to put money in the 401k? I kept on researching and I couldn't figure it out. The more I researched, the more I couldn't figure it out. Why would the government want us to put money in the 401k? I hope you're reading between the lines right now, because right now our debt clock is at an all-time high and it's only getting higher. So if there's $6.3 trillion sitting there and debt, the US debt is getting higher and higher and higher. As of January 19th, we reached a debt ceiling. This article right here said by in 20 years, 2040, we're going to be at the max. Now, think about this for a second. You're the government, okay? Let's just play like you're the government. You got this debt that you got that's over your head that you got to figure out what to do with. But you got $6.9 trillion right here. And you can grab money from there whenever you want. All you got to do is raise taxes. And it doesn't have to be a slow raise. It could be like, for example, just a year and a half ago, mortgage rates was like 4%, 3%. Now it's hard to even get one that's 7%, 8%. So again, why would the government want us to put money in the 401k? Well, it's because they have a nest egg that at any time they could take money out of. So what is the solution? And why am I talking about this? The reason I'm talking about this is because we do things and we've been taught to do things with money that we would never do with anything else. I mean, think about this. We've been taught to take money, put it into a vehicle, whether that's the 401k, whether that's the IRA, whether that's the 403b, whether that's the TSP. We've been taught to put money somewhere and not touch it for 20, 30, sometimes even 40 years. We've been taught not to touch that money. Let that money grow. Would we ever do that with food? I mean, just think about that for a second. You buy some food, you buy some milk, and you put it in the fridge, and you say, I can't touch that. I can't touch that milk for another 20 years. It's gonna be real good in 20 years. We would never do that. Okay, imagine this. You work hard and you buy this new house, and you're bringing your bride over there, and you say, babe, look at this house. We got this house, but we can't live in there for 20 years. Doesn't make sense. You buy a new car and you don't touch it it doesn't make sense. We do things with money that we would never do with anything else. And that's the programming that we've been programmed with. And that's why I want to bring this to everybody's attention. Number one, to sound the alarm. If you have money in a 401k right now, it's a cause to be alarmed. Okay. So let's go back to what is the solution? How can we put ourselves in a situation to solve this? Well, that's where the diversified cash flow account is one and only. And when I say one and only, there is no other vehicle on this planet that I know of that allows you to get uninterrupted compound interest and still have access to your money. Because remember, we talked about it. We've been taught to put money in there for 10, 20, 30 years, and not touch it. However, that's not what the banks do. As soon as they get your money, what do? They put it in motion. They keep it in motion. So in order for us to act and think like a bank, what do we have to do? We have to be able to get uninterrupted compound interest. Sure, we want to take advantage of compounding, but we also want access to our money. That's what the diversified cash flow can do. Tax-free growth. We've already talked about taxes this whole time and the relationship with deferred taxes and tax-free. Guaranteed growth for life. See, there are a lot of different products. There are a lot of different products when it comes to retirement, when it comes to building cash. I can tell you right now, there are very few products that say they have a guarantee growth, protection, and control. Now, I want to hang on to this term control, okay? Because most of the time when we think about building up money, when we think about growing wealth, we miss the most important aspect of wealth. And if you talk to any wealthy person, they'll tell you the number one thing that you need in order to put yourself in position to build wealth, to build retirement, is control. You need to be able to control your money. And when you put your money in a 401k, 403b, a TSP, and an IRA, when you put yourself in a tax-deferred situation and you have no control over that money, and the market could jump up, it could go down, and you just have no control, you have already given up your number one asset in order to get yourself wealthy. So as I wrap up, I just want everybody to understand that with MWR, you're not just getting a platform, right? You're getting the education that you will not get anywhere else. I was talking to a young lady earlier today, and we were going over the diversified cash flow, and she says the same thing. I get this, by the way, whenever you're talking to me or any of our partners, I'll tell you, we hear this all the time, and we said it too. I wish somebody would have told me this years ago. That's the number one thing we get. I wish I would have heard about this years ago. I wish I did not procrastinate and I would have set this appointment years ago. The reason is because the education that you're getting is not taught anywhere else. It's only passed on. So as I wrap up, the one thing I would encourage everybody to do is get educated. If you have your money in a 401k and you're not getting a match, or you're putting your money in an IRA and you're getting tax deferred on that money, TSP, 403b, do your own education. See if what I said today matches up. And I think you're going to find that it does. And then ask yourself this question. Do you want to stay on the hamster wheel? Meaning, do you want to stay with the programming that has not gotten very many people where they want to go? Think about this for a second. I was speaking to a group in Kansas City. A group, there's about 100, 200 people in there. And I asked them this question. I said, is there 10 people that can raise your hand today and name me? Is there anybody can name me 10 people that have retired comfortably and are completely happy with their 401k and what it's done for them? 10. Can you name 5? Not one person. And I want to think about that for you. Do you know anybody right now that's retired and that's completely happy with everything the 401k and what it did? I don't. Do you know anybody? Whenever we see our friends and elderly that are working at, let's say, a Walmart or a grocery store, the question I have for you is, I want you to think about this. Was that their intent when they were working, or were they misguided with the 401k and they find themselves with less money and more life? And that's what we want to prevent here at MWR. So I appreciate everybody. Again, it's always a pleasure to come in and share the knowledge that, again, is not taught. It's only passed on.
Man, Mr. Muonelo, listen.
What do you say, Daryl?
Even though we may feel as though that we did not get this information early. We can't beat ourselves up. The thing is that you need to start now. And by you getting back with the person who invited you to this platform to get this information positions you to be able to get in front of the expert to get you this knowledge that you need to start making that decision and making that difference to change your financial trajectory. So don't worry about it. We got you back. Come grab hold to this wealth membership and let's make wealth real for you and your family. With that being said, guys, please remember, we have a phenomenal virtual event happening this weekend. Get yourself registered for the MWR Go Beyond Virtual Leadership Conference. You're going to be amazed at the information that you're going to get. It's just going to enhance your position and your team to go beyond to the next level. With that being said, we see you on the platform next Thursday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We wish everyone a fantastic evening. Good night.